His partner was like a brother to him. But mafia boss killed his brother like as he was nothing. So, he decided to take unimaginable revenge on that particular day. Welcome back to Paramount Recaps. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me.
Speak.
Jimmy.
The movie kicks off with Detective Taylor Kwan hanging out, waiting for another cop to pick him up. Classic detective stuff, right? Except this time, the other cop's not there to give him a ride. He's there to ambush him. Talk about a bad Uber experience. Just when it seems like Kwan's luck has completely run out, Jimmy Bobo crashes the party, saving Kwan's life. Bobo's a hitman with a solid moral code. He'll get his hands dirty, but he draws the line at women and kids. I guess even hitmen have standards. Fast forward, and we catch up with Bobo and his buddy Louis Blanchard heading to a fancy hotel. The mission? To take out Hank Greeley, a washed-up ex-cop who's too busy partying with drugs and a prostitute to realize the grim situation knocking on his door. Bobo and Blanchard flash their fake badges and force their way in like they're the worst party crashers ever. Once inside, Blanchard gives Greeley a couple of lead-filled party favors, taking him down easily. But Bobo hears the shower running, never a good sign in these movies. In the bathroom, he finds the terrified prostitute hiding. He raises his gun, but something about her panther tattoo gives him pause. It's not every day a hitman gets distracted by ink art, but here we are. Next thing we know, there's a gunshot and broken glass. Greeley, apparently auditioning for Zombie Cop of the Year, somehow gets back up and attacks Blanchard. But before he can finish the job, Bobo delivers a headshot that finally takes the guy out. Maybe this time, Greeley will stay down. As they're leaving, Blanchard asks what happened to the woman. Bobo, in the most casual way possible, says he handled it. Spoiler, he didn't actually kill her. He's just betting on her being too freaked out to talk. Then they dump their guns at some random dock, which is apparently the hitman version of throwing dirty laundry in the corner. After all that, they head to a bar to meet their contact, Ronnie Earl. While they're waiting, a suspicious-looking guy is eyeing them from across the room, probably thinking, do hitmen always drink so casually after a job? Bobo steps away, and of course, that's when things go south. The shady guy stabs Blanchard, and with the music blasting, no one notices the silent struggle. Blanchard, bleeding out, makes it to the bathroom, but it's too late. Bobo finds him dead and grabs the knife, ready for some old-fashioned wrench. Next day, Detective Kwan flies in from DC to investigate Greeley's murder. Kwan's got history with the guy, so this case is personal, like someone just insulted his favorite action hero personal. While the cops interrogate the Russian woman who survived, she confirms the killers were only after Greeley. Kwan notices she's rocking the same panther tattoo Bobo spotted early. It's like the world's weirdest game of tattoo bingo. Over at the morgue, Kwan chats with some local cops about Greeley's messy past. The guy wasn't exactly winning any Cop of the Year awards. Turns out, Greeley was linked to a gangster named Baby Jack, who's running a shady protection racket. Digging deeper, Kwan connects Blanchard to Bobo, but when he shares this with the local cops, they act like he's a nosy tourist. They take his gun away for not having a permit and basically tell him to take a hike. Great teamwork, right? But Kwan's not one to be easily discouraged. He leaves Bobo a voicemail asking to meet at a bar. Meanwhile, Bobo's pacing around his lake house, looking like he's plotting world domination, or at least some epic revenge. They meet up, and Bobo, like a true gentleman, brings his own bottle to the bar. Kwan lays it all out. He doesn't want to arrest Bobo. He just wants to work together to find the people who hired them to kill. Bobo's not sold on the whole teamwork idea. After the bar, Kwan ends up in the middle of a street parade, because why not? And he realizes two guys are tailing. He ducks into a parking lot and, in true detective fashion, hides between some cars. After taking down one of the goons, he gets distracted by the guy's police badge and ends up getting shot in the chest by the second. Just as things are looking grim, Bobo shows up. Kwan jumps in, but neither of them trust the other, so they point guns at each other in a tension-filled stare down. Eventually, they agree to work together. Meanwhile, we check in with Keegan, a hitman from the bar, who's having a meeting with his boss, Robert Morell, and Morell's lawyer, Marcus Baptiste. They realize Greeley had dirt on Morell, but that evidence is now with Baby Jack, making him Keegan's next target. Bobo takes Kwan to his daughter Lisa's tattoo shop to patch up his wounds. Inside, Lisa patches up Kwan, and he notices she's got the same panther tattoo. What is it with this tattoo? It's like a secret club or something. As they leave the shop, Bobo and Kwan joke around, but things get serious when Bobo mentions Ronnie. After dragging Baptiste out of the party, Bobo and Kwan toss him in the back of their car. Baptiste wakes up, freaking out and trying to break free, but Bobo, not in the mood for any drama, gives him a swift knock to the head, knocking him out cold. Meanwhile, Morell realizes Baptiste has gone missing and calls Detective Brown, who's been working for him all along. Quan. Morel orders Brown to track Baptiste's phone and gives Keegan the green light to get rid of whoever's behind the kidnap. But before they can start, Bobo and Quan argue about who's going to question it. Quan steps up first, using his detective instincts to dig for answers. He throws questions at Baptiste, trying to piece everything together, but Baptiste plays it cool, like he's untouchable. That's when Bobo steps in, grabbing a rifle off the wall. He smacks Baptiste with it, making the tough guys spill everything: his ties to Ronnie, Morel's dirty business, and Keegan's involvement. Baptiste also admits that Bobo and Blanchard were set up to be killed to tie up loose ends. Once Bobo gets the info he wants, he shoots Baptiste without hesitation. Quan's not happy about Bobo taking Baptiste out, and they get into a heated argument. But before they can really go at it, Keegan and his squad of mercenaries arrive and start firing at the cabin. Bullets tear through the place as Bobo and Quan dive into the water, barely making it out alive. Keegan and his crew storm the cabin. Bobo pulls himself out of the water and blows up the cabin with a bomb he planted. Keegan manages to dive through a window just in time. With the cabin destroyed, Bobo and Quan head to Lisa's place to regroup. While they're laying low, Quan finds out that the flash drive they took from Baptiste holds a list of people Morel bribed. While they're in the car, Bobo starts talking about Lisa's mom, mentioning that she was addicted to poker and spent 15 years in prison. Soon after, Bobo and Quan start arguing. Quan wants to work with the cops to build a case against Morel, while Bobo thinks the only way to fix things is to take Morel out. The argument heats up, and they end up pointing guns at each other. They eventually go their separate ways, but Quan warns Bobo that once Morel is dealt with, he's coming after. Meanwhile, Morel talks with Detective Brown and learns that Bobo has a daughter. Morel orders Keegan to kidnap Lisa to get the flash drive back and plans to eliminate Keegan after, thinking he's becoming too dangerous. Keegan doesn't waste any time. He storms into Lisa's tattoo shop, knocks her out along with her clients, and kidnaps her. Later, Quan meets up with a local cop at an underpass, ready to hand over the case. But he quickly realizes the cop is working for Morel when the guy pulls a gun on him. Just as it seems like Quan's in big trouble, Bobo swoops in and saves him again. As they escape, Bobo gets a call from Keegan, who threatens to kill Lisa if Bobo doesn't hand over the flash drive. Furious, Bobo swears that Keegan won't make it out alive. Keegan has Lisa tied up in an old warehouse when Morel shows up to check on things. He starts undermining Keegan, making it clear he doesn't fully trust him. Keegan, annoyed, grows more irritated by the second. When Bobo arrives, Morel's men search him to make sure he's not armed and take him upstairs to meet Morel. Bobo vows to end Keegan, but Morel tries to bribe him with $250,000 to kill Quan instead. Bobo demands to see Lisa first, and after some back and forth, Morel agrees, despite Keegan's protests. While all this is going down, Quan sneaks into the building and records everything on his phone. As Morel and Keegan argue, Keegan snaps, shoots Morel and Detective Brown in the head, and chaos erupts. Quan takes out one of Morel's henchmen, and Bobo secures Lisa before going after Keegan. Keegan makes a run for it, but Bobo's not far behind. They end up facing off, and instead of shooting, Keegan challenges Bobo to a fight with axes. The fight is brutal, with both men swinging hard, but in the end, Bobo gets the upper hand, chopping Keegan's foot and stabbing him in the neck with Blanchard's knife. Keegan, refusing to give up, pulls the knife out and tries to finish Bobo, but Quan arrives just in time, shooting Keegan twice and finally putting him down. In the aftermath, Quan suggests Bobo stay and deal with things legally, but Bobo shoots Quan in the shoulder to make it look like Quan was the hero. He leaves Lisa in Quan's care, and they agree not to mention Bobo in official report. A few weeks later, Quan meets Bobo at a bar, where they share a drink. Quan warns Bobo that if he breaks the law again, he'll arrest him. Bobo just shrugs, finishes his drink, and drives off, ready to live his life on his terms.